And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Battles In live stream. Typically there's 4 of us. Tonight you got 2 of us. You have me and Tifase, defensive lineman, the big man, the scary man. He's actually pretty good at COD too. Folks, if this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. You're maybe thinking what's going on. Well, you're going to get to see Florida State athletes off the gridiron on the Xbox. Hopefully y'all can relate to maybe what they can do in the virtual world, since none of us really can with what they can do in the physical world. So I say we just dive into this thing, man. I will let you set us up because.
Do you want to start shipment?
Yeah, we can start one of those. Yeah. Now, folks, if you're like, man, I'm not really into video games, well, that's okay. Just hang out for a little bit, drop some questions in the chat. I will give you as much inside perspective as you can, and if you have questions about the Battles End, I'll try to do what I can or whatever. But he is the main attraction here. So yeah, and if you love Call of Duty, well, 2 things you love are in the same place.
Hey, just food for thought, guys. Max's screen is underneath his screen, and my screen is underneath my screen. Yeah. So
So let's give the people what was going on today. It's Tuesday, so that's skills and drills for y'all.
A run.
Okay.
Yeah. That we have player-led, skill and drills. Coaches are on vacation right now, so we
okay.
Yeah, so we had just GAs and stuff like that, and we just were getting some work in. Then, during getting some work in, we had a team conditioning after that, so that was good.
Yeah, so I think
it was really hot out there today too. So, whew.
Was it? It was like 95 up in Atlanta, so I can only imagine down there it was even worse. What so when people hear player-led practice, I think a lot of folks hear that term. We've heard it, but like, what actually is a player-led practice? Like, what goes on in those things? What do y'all do?
So like, basically what we coach ourselves. You know what I'm saying? All the things that we learn through practices, we do it, and we reuse it basically just by ourselves.
And do y'all break into position groups at all, or is it where y'all just like full team?
Yeah, we'll break into position groups sometimes, but most of the time we'll just all work on the same thing. Who
kind of leads the player-led practice for the most part? Is it the leadership council? Is it captains? Who kind of jumps into that role?
First, Pat. As a group, it's really as a group. We all just pitching ideas of what we need to work on, and we work on it every day. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a group thing.
Yes, sir. Now I know the last time I got to see a practice, y'all, like I was watching the O-line, and they were having the they'll have the guys who obviously aren't going kind of mimic the D-line, show them different blitz looks and stuff. Who will y'all do that as well in your practices? Like, and if you do, who is the best defensive lineman at the O-line side of the drills y'all do when y'all go against each other?
I know I have to think. We have a lot of O-linemen, so it's just like,
Let me ask this: so if one O-lineman had to, like, before a game for some reason, the referee comes over and is like, hey, one of your offensive linemen like has to play on the other team, like Pop Warner style. Who would you least want to go to that other team and have to play against for the game?
Oh, to play against me? Okay, I could do that. I would say Rob Scott.
Okay.
Or Maurice.
Okay. Interesting. And I imagine with, being a center in Maurice and a tackle in Scott, probably for very different reasons. So like, what are the two what are the unique things about each of them that make them tough to play against?
Oh, they know the game, and they're not really big people, but they know their technique is amazing. So like, them knowing the game like that, it's just like they already know what they need to do to be able to block. They already know the blocking techniques, and they already know what type of block it is. So once they know all of those things, it's like, they don't need strength or anything. They just need to know how to play technique, and play technique, takes it all over. So they know all of that, and they're very, skilled in that, and they're veterans, so they know everything they're doing. So imagine that leadership from our team, and we're putting 2 other people except for them, and then we have to play against them. That's bad our way.
Yeah, no, I mean, you put it like that, man. That's, it's interesting. You're like the 5th person on both sides of the ball, that just talks about how good Mo Smith is technically, just how his technique is sound, how that makes him, just really frustrating to go against. Is there anything in particular about his technique that frustrates you? I know I've kind of heard, it's everything from how he sets his base to his hand placement, but what is it about him technically that gives you fits when he goes against you?
Or Maurice?
Maurice.
Maurice?
Yeah, Maurice. Yeah, because I feel Yeah, I hear about his technique a lot.
Yeah, so Marie's technique is very good. Like if he's gonna know you, he knows how to basically guard the bull rush. He knows how to hit you where it hurts out of your stance. If that makes sense, because I
Hmm.
went against Maurice a couple of times, and like he knows how to hold his block, and he knows how to hold him in front of him, not in the side or behind. You know what I'm saying? He just knows what he needs to do to be able to keep you in the same place, and without doing anything. So he has like I'm gonna say he just has that. What's that word? Like he just has that mentality like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
As soon as you come off the ball, he just knows what you're gonna do. Especially if he knows he's playing the game for a long time. He knows like your body type, and he knows what like people with your body type does. Just all of that stuff comes with experience. So that's why I would count on him. Guys, I am going crazy right now. It's like I don't know if you guys can see my screen, but I am like truly carrying the lobby at a like horrendous pace.
Yeah, I think it would probably blow most people's mind, and I guess the folks watching this, let us know if it does or doesn't. But I mean, the fact that I saw a graphic yesterday, I think we're 69 days away, nice, from the LSU game, and y'all have been out there, for what 4 weeks already of off season conditioning and skills and drills and stuff. So that's it's
Yeah,
crazy what goes into it, but.
it's a fast pace, but it's like just know you're gonna get a lot of work in that time.
Yeah, I mean, do you get to the point now? I know it's kind of this will be like your second fall camp, but are you getting to the point where now it almost doesn't feel like enough time? You're like, man, I know with 72 days I could get in even better shape, or God, what shape could I
Yeah,
get in with 76? So you're almost like,
facts.
yeah,
Yeah, so fall camp. I can't wait for fall camp actually to come around. First I can get it over with, and first just it's just like you go through fall camp that whole time to prepare right for the season. Like so that's like a something big that you're trying to wait for. Like
yep,
like you go through fall camp so anxious, playing hard every single day because you're trying to get into the season and you can't wait. So you're just preparing to what you're going to do and what moves you're going to do. That's just the time to perfect your craft. You know what I'm saying? And it's
yep.
supposed to be constant, so your body can get adapt to those. I mean, you could get used to those movements, those techniques, the type of explosion off the ball. So you know, I'm glad that we are going into fall camp because that's where really people perfect their craft and know their place as well. So you know. That helps out a lot. And I just carried the lobby too, just
Yeah,
let
you
you guys
did.
know.
I mean, 41. Dude, I was doing some stuff with that sniper rifle. Now,
Yeah, you. Oh, that was only with the sniper rifle.
yeah, I was using
Okay,
the
that's
semi-auto
good.
the whole
That's
time.
good. That's fire.
I so fall camp. First of all, dumb question: are 2-a-days still a thing? Like, do y'all still do those? Is that That's my camera.
2 a days. I wouldn't say they're 2 a days, but we definitely do something like 2 a days. Like we probably will practice, then go outside and go over plays and stuff like that at a you know
Yeah.
want to say like at a pace where there's no physicality. It's just walking through what we need to do. So that's what you could basically consider the 2 a days.
So, all right, y'all are working out pretty much all off season except for that one break. When y'all get to fall camp, does it then almost immediately become about implementing the systems you're going to run, learning playbooks and that stuff, and like
Yeah.
you're kind of already expected to be in shape, or is there still kind of a little transition period of like shock the system,
No, we're
heavy
expected to already
conditioning?
be in shape.
Okay,
We're definitely
word.
expected to already be in shape. But
Yes,
then,
sir.
and like conditioning and football shape are, if you're already conditioned, it helps you out basically with football. Like it's like a 10 times better. But if you're a ball player, you're a ball player. You know what makes sense? Like,
Yep.
if you know how to play ball, you know how to play ball. But then the conditioning definitely boosts the effort that you have because you have ball player and you're in shape, you'll be unstoppable. It's like having a motor.
That's wild to me. Again, the way y'all come back. I mean, I even think about an average person. If you're going to the gym consistently, right? Let's
Yeah,
say
if
you.
an average person does like going to the gym every day will not help an
Yeah.
average person,
No.
do what we do at all. Like if an average person will come out there and have one full day with us, I think they might go home like scared, like nah, I'm never doing these type of sports again. Like no, that's big no
Yeah,
no.
but I also think about too. I like the like I always think about if I miss time, right? Like if I'm going to the gym consistently, and I miss like 2 weeks, I come back and I'm like, man, I feel awful. Like the fact that y'all during the season, you might whatever you would get dinged up or something, and people see, oh, he's going to miss 4 weeks, and then expect like week 5, okay, he's going to be back in the game, back at 100%. It's like, man, the way y'all are able to bounce back, the shape y'all are able to get yourselves in quickly. But to your point, man, it's just that mentality of like, the shape's helpful, but it's more about just being a ball player, getting out there and over. And folks, I mean, that's why our team is so good at football, right? Because like, I was studying game film for Call of Duty. Even imagine how much game film he's watching, for for football. If you're willing to dive into it here,
it's crazy because it's like the play and what you need to do. It already works out for you. That makes sense. Like all you need to hear is literally what to do, and they tell you what to do. And if you do that thing, it actually works. That's the craziest part about it. Like when a coach says, "Oh yeah, all you need to do is this, this, and that," and I promise you, you'll beat them. And if you do that, that, and that all together, it literally works. It's just like, wow, okay.
So when Odell Higgins, one of the greatest to ever do it, tells you how to win a game, he's right.
Oh yeah, I'm listening to him 100%.
Dude, I do have a question. So, like, obviously Odell is high. I'm going to fire department, I think. I just jumped. I don't know why. Obviously Odell is highly credible, and, I would believe anything that guy says. But, when he was recruiting you, you were a, 16, 17-year-old guy, and, it's no secret last summer even when you were finalizing your decision about reclassing and all that, like, we weren't going through the best of times. So, like, what was it about the team, or was it Odell specifically or whatever that, really made you comfortable being like, okay, I think Florida State's going to bounce back, and like this down period isn't going to be forever. And hell, I think they're going to do it soon enough that, when you got here, it would happen quickly. So like what made you feel like that?
When I first got here, had to sit out for a couple of days because of, my physical and everything, and just, be able to have the right type of body to be able to go. So when I sat out those couple of days, I actually got, when I finally got my equipment and everything, it was like, okay. Everybody was just like, okay, let's see what this guy can do, right? And it was like, okay, let's see if he's just big for nothing, or is he actually big and strong, or let's just see if he's, if he can do what he needs to do. So I came off the ball, and I'm talking about like I bull rush somebody back into to the back of the field, and it was like everybody was like, okay, yeah, okay, you know what I'm saying? It ain't just, and I'm only 17, and this person in front of me is like,
that's mind blowing. I forget how young you are sometimes, folks. If you don't know, Tifase reclassified into the grade ahead, and you may look like a 35-year-old grown man and a world class athlete, but
I'm 18, 19 next month, guys.
Yep.
July 25th. So,
but I guess so. Like, but not so much you fitting in college, but like, Florida State coming off, a 3-win season, then a 5-win season. Like, what made you feel good about the decision to come here? I mean, what was like?
So I really looked at the season before, and I'm like, dang, like, what I'm saying? It wasn't as much as as much as I know old Florida State, and old Florida State is not like that, So I'm just like, it has to be a change. Like, I know sooner or later it's going to be a change. So it might be the time that I'm there, and it might not. But I feel like, I was looking at the 23 class and 22 class at the time. I'm like, yeah, these are some real solid people and some real solid physical, bodies. Now I looked at already who was here and who was coming in while I was coming in. I'm like, there's like a big change. Like there's a big change just because the type of people that was coming in and the way we were working. They knew that year, like they changed everything that year. So it was like one of the years I came for, with change in all of Florida State system. So,
Yep.
We all adapted to that change, and that change is basically what made us, who we are and what we're doing today. And then with the new additions and the new type of change that we're going through again, it makes us more better,
Yep. Absolutely, man. And it's been crazy to watch. Like, look at all the subtle, you see the subtle things, and you look back and like, yeah, we knew, the team was still working hard, and you could tell they cared, and, we're putting in the effort during some of those down years. But like, you don't always know if that's you don't always know how it's gonna work out. And it's been great that it has swung this way. But I think the coolest thing about getting to know y'all, and hopefully folks as you see more of our content, you get to know these guys better, is how there is such a mentality of like, y'all aren't there yet within the locker room. Like, everyone I talk to, obviously you, but just everyone is so like, yeah, last year was a good year, but that's not what y'all want the ceiling to be by any means. And that's been the coolest thing to see.
Not at all. We definitely have way more room for improvement. With the way that we're working right now, there is no way that we shouldn't be where we need to be.